They confused your empathy with weakness. They confused you being an empath with you being weak, with you being a person that they could just push over, with you being a person that they could just harm, mistreat, allow others to mistreat you. They confused you being an empath with weakness, with being pathetic, because you wasn't one to just fold and give in. You granted them grace, patience, mercy, forgiveness. When a lot of people would have just walked away, because a lot of them don't have empaths, they're not empaths. They don't have that in them, so they would walk away. So to meet somebody like you that wouldn't just up and walk away, that granted them grace, granted them mercy, help with your giving spirit, your loving spirit, supportive spirit. They tried to dog you out. They thought that you were pathetic, weak for being that way. They allowed people to mistreat you and didn't say a word. You saw it all. They joined in on the smearing campaigns. You knew it. You ain't say a word though, but you knew it. You felt the energy in the room when you came in with all the other ones sitting around. You knew it. But they thought that you were weak because you have something that they don't have. Empathy. And they thought that you were pathetic. They thought you were nothing. They thought you didn't see all the sly put downs. They thought you didn't see the little laughs while they were stabbing you in the back. They thought that you didn't see all their manipulative tactics. They thought, even through their little text messages, they thought, even with you giving them the shirt off your back, and they still want to treat you and not even want to give you $10 for gas. All that you had done for them, and they mistreated you. And they thought you were stupid and pathetic because you still fooled with them. Not realizing you were sticking around for grace that God grants us. Mercy that God grants us. Patience that God grants us. And they couldn't see that. They confused you being an empath and having empathy for weakness. Imagine that. They didn't even think that you had enough strength to ever cut ties. They felt as though to the end of life you was just going to allow this behavior. They thought you were walking all alone. They had no idea that you was walking with God. Tried to tell a lot of them. They had no idea that you had a whole spirit team, a whole force behind you in the spiritual realm. At first, you didn't know it. But you start saying, who is this? You know, it's backing me. All what they trying to do to take me under. But something keeps me from not folding and going on. That was God and his team. Your spirit guides in the spiritual realm. They didn't know you was a beast in the spiritual realm. They just thought that you were weak, a nobody, pathetic. How could they think that when they seen your light? They seen your strength. They seen your giving spirit. They seen how you love more than most. But they didn't question it. They could have said, this person is different than other people. Why is this person so patient with me? They've identified the things I've been doing, but they didn't do that. Nope. They confused you being an empath and having empathy for weakness. And they continued on, thinking that it would just go on like this for forever. That's how pathetic that they thought you were, empaths out there. But they didn't know that you came with a force, that you came with a strength that was tucked away inside of you that you didn't even know that you had. But they pushed and they pushed and they pushed and they poked the bear, and they found out that you, out of all the people in the world that they always thought they were going to keep poking, they never saw that you had the courage to rise up and walk away and never look back at their pathetic asses that they are for not appreciating the gift that God placed inside their lives. Now, who's the pathetic one out there? Who?